Welcome to the PDX files. Each week we dive into the weird and the unexplained here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. My name is Peej.
And I'm Mac.
Mac, what are we talking about today?
I mean, something I think we've always known about, sort of heard about, at least a little bit. And now it kind of has its own name, a cryptid. I didn't know that when I was growing up. I just knew it as Nessie. So we're gonna get a little bit of a glimpse on a recent sighting of our beloved Nessie.
All right. Well, as usual, I have not seen this video, so my reactions will be authentic. Here we go.
Beneath the murky waters of the legendary Scottish Loch lurks a mystery, and this week, perhaps, a new clue.
We think it's the first potential sighting of 2025. It's absolutely fantastic. It really looks like something is like bulging out from underneath the water.
A new picture has surfaced showing what appeared to be a large dark mass beneath the calm, still waters of the loch, according to the official Loch Ness Centre.
I just think it shows us that there's possibilities, that the search is not over, that there's still that we're still carrying out research and surface watch on the waters.
In fact, the centre is now looking for a new full-time monster hunter, an adventurous skipper, the ad says, for the deep scan vessel to keep the search alive. The job joins a long line of Nessie hunters over the last century.
I want that job. I want that job.
Yeah,
right there. That's the job I want.
I could actually understand her, because Scottish accent is just too Scottish, But so I didn't realize that this video was I mean, I saw the title, but I didn't realize this video included a recent sighting.
Oh yes, yeah. This is 2025. So I mean, this is like fully updated, unlimited. This is where we want to see things go, I think, in the 21st century, because there hasn't been a lot of excitement about Nessie in a long time, and so sort of catching that I thought was pretty cool, beyond her Scottish accent. But just my first thoughts on that photo. It just looks like a kind of a big wave.
Looks like a big whale. Well,
Wave.
For me, I thought it was a whale.
There ain't no whales in Loch Ness. That's like
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But and actually, it is kind of funny that I think we mentioned it, or either you. I'm pretty sure it was you who mentioned in our Bigfoot video that there just hadn't been any recent sightings. So it's refreshing that there's a recent potential sighting of the Loch Ness Monster.
I mean, really, absolutely. And when you think about it, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see if you're a big fan of Chupacabra or the Yeti or the Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. There's all sorts of other cryptids that are out there we haven't even gotten to yet. But the fact that this was like first and foremost, and 2025, this is positive, I think.
Right on. All right, we'll continue here.
Since the early 1930s, there have been more than 1,000 recorded sightings of some kind of creature dwelling in Loch Ness.
So this black hump come out of the water.
It was like a torpedo going through the water.
Nowadays, there's a live stream of the loch, but researchers have deployed all tools imaginable: submarines, sonar, and last summer flew drones overhead. For decades, the leading theory was that Nessie was a plesiosaur, a dinosaur who had somehow survived. But scientists have tested the water for DNA.
Let's get down to it. Is there a plesiosaur?
See, this is where it kind of...
No.
Yeah.
But they did find evidence of eel DNA.
It's plausible that there might be one or two that grow to extreme size.
Plausible, sure, but no photograph has ever proven that.
Definite fake.
Most snaps of Nessie, and there have been a lot, have been debunked. But the myth survives.
Well, he towed a nice bit of fiberglass behind his boat, but this is the famous one. What people think now is that it's actually this little thing. It's a submarine with a plasticine monster's head on top of it.
No, I refuse to believe that. No, but I mean, it probably is. But because, how could something that big live in Loch Ness? It's a big place, right? Clearly, and deep. The eels being that big, no, there's no eels that big. But it does carry on this kind of I don't know. I think it's very sweet. The the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Again, you've heard about it since you were a kid,
Oh
probably,
yeah.
really,
I mean, yeah, since
right?
I was a kid, I heard about it. It's one of a few, again, the new terminology now is cryptid. One of the few cryptids that have stuck in my, in my memory, uh, because of, I don't know, I guess I think, I don't know, I think you just said cute, right? I mean, I think to me it's almost like it's kind of pretty romantic, like when you think about Bigfoot and Loch Ness, obviously they've been named, right? So Nessie, so there's an affinity for, for the for them, and any other kind of, I mean, I don't know if I think that El Chupacabra also had a nickname, right? I can't remember it now, but
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, I've definitely heard of the Loch Ness Monster. Now, definitely with regard to the photos, the older photos, and some of those were shown in the video here. So for those listening on the podcast, we definitely would appreciate if you could watch the original video or the reference video noted in the show notes. Um, I mean, those are when I saw the original photo, I was very skeptical already at that point. But again, the fact that it's like, hey, there's a possibility that it's a
Right.
plesiosaur or some sort of prehistoric creature. That's the romantic part.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think that kind of applies a little bit to the, because you think, well, the Bigfoot or the Yeti has this huge amount of space where it can move around and hide. Not so much. Not really. It doesn't have any place to hide. And in Loch Ness, I mean, that was interesting. I never even knew that they did this whole DNA thing, which is pretty conclusive. I think because they were taking it seriously. They wanted to make sure, hey, there's nothing down there that we should protect. I think that's kind of what the bottom line was there. And it ended up being, it's like, no, there's nothing down there. We found some big ass eels. Are those eels big enough to, do anything like that? But what does scare me the most is the idea of having to dive into Loch Ness because of those eels. I'm never going to dive into Loch Ness after seeing those things.
So you were not afraid of the Loch Ness monster. You're afraid of the
Nah.
eel,
Yes. Yeah.
especially if they have been proven to grow to unusually large size.
And that water is like so dark, you can't see down there. Like I'm just not a water person anyway. Just let me just get that out of the way. I'm not a water person, but knowing that, I will definitely not get on a boat and go into Loch Ness and then dive into the Loch Ness, hoping to find the Loch Ness monster, because all I'm going to find is a disgusting sharp tooth eel.
So I was just doing a quick Google search here. Loch Ness is only 21 square mile.
Yeah, what does that mean? What does square miles mean? I didn't do math. I need to do.
It beats me. It's
I mean,
20
it's pretty
miles,
small, right?
2 miles in length, 22 miles in width, that type of thing. I think that's how they figured out. And the um, elevation is only 52 feet. Does
Oh,
that sound even right?
you mean the depth of the
Oh,
lake
wait,
is 52
no,
feet?
my bad. It says surface elevation.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not far above sea level, which makes kind of sense in that area of Scotland. It's pretty close
Right.
to the. Yeah,
But the
yeah.
point, I'm sorry, its deepest point is 230 meters or 755 feet.
That's pretty fucking deep. Yeah,
It's deep.
that's a
Yeah,
deep
I
ass
get
lake.
that. But I don't know. Again, so to me, with today's technology, it just baffles me how we don't have the proper technology yet to really properly survey a relatively small body of water compared to the ocean, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, and I think that's kind of if you can take that even to how we view the ocean and the things that we see out there, we continually find new things. I just saw recently that there was a piece of the Antarctic ice shelf that kind of broke off and then gave view to kind of like new life below. I mean, not life that's not unexpected or that we haven't seen before, but just like was below like this huge amount of ice and was surviving below that. So our notion of how life ought to work and interact and grow. We don't know anything about that underwater. We don't know anything about that in our atmosphere. We don't know anything, period.
I'm just
So you have
saying.
to keep it up in mind. That's all I'm
No, I
saying.
get it. I get it. I'm just saying that if if we were able to find the goddamn Titanic at the bottom of the ocean floor, we should be able to fully explore Loch Ness and once and for all determine like how elusive is this thing if it even actually exists to
It's too big at that point, right? I
right. I
mean,
mean,
it couldn't go
especially
under.
yeah. I mean, if it's eating everything in there too,
What's left?
at
Yeah.
some point, I don't know. I mean, at some point it's going to run out of food. Then maybe it'll surface, and then we'll get definitive proof. But it is kind of exciting that like you said, it's 2025, nearly 100 years after after this was first discovered.
Yeah.
That there's news, fresh news. So that's
And people are still into it. That's the thing. I like the passion to try to find something new. I think that's a fun thing. It's like people are still into this stuff and still have the interest in it.
well, absolutely. I mean, because you have to be. I mean, like you said, like you don't even want to jump in that water, because it's kind of still the fear is still there.
Mhm.
The
Ain't
awareness,
happening.
kind of like the same thing for me when I cross train tracks. I always look to make sure that there's not a train that'll all of a sudden show up and
Be a school bus.
be over. But if you enjoy this content, please give it a like and share it across your socials to help get the word out about our show. And if you hadn't already done so, please subscribe. And on YouTube, and I just learned this, please hit that notification bell because YouTube does measure the amount of time that somebody gets notified by that notification bell and then clicks on the video link. They measure that, and it helps to give some visibility to our show to other would-be viewers. So please do that if you can.
God, we sound old. We sound so old.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.